Yeah, the main upper is containing the Karnool group in southern peninsula. If you can see that in a southern peninsula, it has a Karnool group, Bhima group, Salavai group, Indravati group, Chhattisgarh group, and there is unconformity between the lower Puranas to and upper Puranas. Again, when you come into towards north, in a northern peninsula, the upper Indians, and again it's consisting of a Malani volcanic. Then, when you come into the lower Puranas, in the lower Puranas, Karpa supergroup, Kaladgi supergroup, and Pakal group it's containing. Again, it's divided into the, or maybe when you come into towards the northern peninsula. In a northern peninsula, lower Vindhyans, Gwalior group, Bijawar group, and Kolhan group, Delhi supergroup was recognized. Then the Karpas were followed by the Vindhyans after a time interval marked by the earth movement and erosion. It was happened. Then the Vindhyan supergroup derives its name from the Great Vindhyan Mountains. It's developed into the central India. The whole harm in 1895 it designated as a Great Sandstone Formation of Bundelkhand and the Malwas as the Vindhyan system, and which covers a large part of the peninsula. And India, it's spreading more than 1 lakh square kilometers, the part of Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan areas. An area about 78,000 square kilometers of Indian basin is concealed under the Deccan Traps and alluvium of Indo-Gangetic plain. Vindhyan supergroup is comprised of a vast stratified formation of sandstones, shales, limestones, attaining an average thickness of 4,200 meters. It occupies a large basin extending from Agra to almost Chhattisgarh in the west, and Hardha to Hoshangabad in the southern part, up to it is Sasaram in the east of the area. So then coming to the Karpas, this is also we have discussed. It was described by the William Pym in 1872. For Karpa, more centuries ago it has, and it has subgroups like Papadni, Chayir, Nallamalai, Krishna series, and each major division of Karpa supergroup it is marked by unconformity. But more major one it's occur at the base of a Nallamalai series. Recently, Geological Survey of India remapped. It was remapped by them entire basin and given a revised classification. Yeah, the rock section have divided into the Papadni, Chitravati, Nallamalai groups, and the lithostratigraphy of Karapa supergroup is together into estimate the thickness. Based on the thickness, the units were divided. Yeah, this is actually Karapa super group of geological map. This one. Then it is the classification of a Karpa supergroup. We come from bottom up, as we see. It's a Eparchian unconformity. This Eparchian unconformity it's located between the Archean cyst belt and between the Papagri formation. Yeah, the Papagni, you see here it is a Papagni. It is a group and it's divided into the two formations. That is as a Gulchori formation. Second one is a Pimpalli formation. In a Gulcharu quartet, it is completely it's having the quartet formation. Conglomerate sandstone quartet and shale. Conglomerate sandstone quartet and shale. This and the thickness around it's maintaining the thickness in meters, that is around 28 to 210 meters of a thickness. And again Vempalli, you see the Empalli formation, it has the stromatolitic limestone, low dolomite, mudstone, chet, breccias, quartet with basic flow, and it has a small intrusives. The thickness around 1900 meters. And there is a disconformity between the Chitravati and the Papatni group. And again, the Chitravati, it is divided into the three formations. One, it is a Pulvendula quartzite. In the Pulvendula quartzite, it has the formations or rock types we see here. That maybe we are calling that is as a lithology. In a lithology part, if you see that Pulvendula quartzite has a conglomerate and thickness around maybe it is a 1 to 75 meters of a thickness it has. Chitravati. Uh, Again, the Chitravati contain Tadpatri formation. The Tadpatri formation, the lithology inclusion of shale, volcanic tubes, quartzite, dolomite with small intrusions. Small intrusions means here the volcanic flows, whatever it has come towards the surface and it's a look like as a cells and tube. And the thickness of this one, it is around 4,600 meters. Uh, Again, Gandikota quartzite. The Gandikota quartzite, this is a new formation. It's a new formation here, the Gandikota quartzite. In the Gandikota quartzite, it has the lithology, quartzite and the shales. The shales we see here in the form of sills. And thickness, it is around about 300 meters. And we can see here angular unconformity here. There is a angular unconformity was formed between the Chitravati and the Nallamalai group. And the Nallamalai group, it is divided into the two formations. One, it is a Byronkonda. Second one, it is a Kumbam formation. In a Byronkonda formation, it is called as a Nagari quartzite, or it has a Nagari quartzite formation. And then the lithological, if you can see into the lithological formations that which has dolomite, quartzite, Byronkonda. Byronkonda quartzite, actually it has a quartzite formation completely maximum, and little bit of portions which are occupied by the shales and Nagari conglomerate quartzite in the shale with small intrusions, and the thickness around it has a 4,000 meters. Coming to the Pulampit or Kumbam formation. In a Kumbam formation, we see here different types of lithological characteristics or lithological structures. Pillite, slate, quartzite, dolomite, so on so. Actually, this in dolomites, kimberlite formation we see here, lamprophite, cyanite, pulampit, shale, and volcanic tips we can identify here. That means the volcanic material, it's coming towards the surface from deeper level, and it's dispersed in the form of tubes. The thickness it is around 2,000 meters. Then the final one, it is a Sri Shailam quartzite, quartzite shale, and quartzite shale, it has a lithological formations. Then here also we can identify the unconformity. It's a gap between the two formations. Unconformity that was between the two formations. One, it is Nallamalai, and then the second one, it is a Sri Shailam quartzite. Between this, the gap was formed. It is called as a unconformity, and thickness it is around 2,000 meters here. Then after the Sri Shailam formations, we'll see the Karnool group. In a Karnool group, it's another system, or it is another super group of a proterozoic formation. Then what are the equivalents? Here there are some equivalents with one group to the another. What are those? Let us see. The first one, it is the Kadapa equivalents. The Kadapa equivalents based on the sedimentary basins of a Kadapa age are found in a part of Maharashtra, Kaladgi, that is as a Telangana, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh. The Delhi supergroup of Rajasthan, which differs from the Puranas of the other parts of a peninsula, it has a more intense folding, and it's the amount of igneous activity. The Delhi supergroups, which are occupy the large extents of Rajasthan from the Delhi to Idar, and full development being found in the main Rajasthan geosyncline of Ajmer, Merwar, and Merwar area. The extent in space and the time uh, entitled that it's a Delhi system of rocks which are considered the main portion of a major supergroup. So that here almost it is equivalent to that one. Second one, it is a Delhi supergroup. In a Delhi supergroup, which rocks were buried with more deeply along the main axis of a folding of a synclinorium. Shear zones we will see, and the faults are very common in this group of formation. It is also referred as a Delhi fold belt also. The Delhi supergroup of rocks, uh, which occurs in two belts. One, it is a North Delhi fold belt in northeast of Rajasthan and developed into the three subbasins. What are those? One, it is a Alwar. Second one, it is a Bayana. Third one, it is a Kale. And second belt, it is the South Delhi fold belt along the Aravalli hill ranges in the central Rajasthan. You see, these are all the formations in the central Rajasthan. There are two belts are separated by magmatic niches around the Ashmere in the south and up to the K3 in the north. The Delhi supergroup rocks are considered to be middle upper proterozoic of Purana age. Yes, these rocks which are considered as upper proterozoic of formation, and which is a profound unconformity. There is a unconformity we have identified, that is between the Delhi and Aravalli supergroups. The North Delhi fold belts are divided into the two groups. One into that Alwar, and second one it is Asrabad groups. And these two belongs to the Delhi fold belt rocks, and again it's divided into the Gogunda, Boyritia, Sendra, Rasgad, and Bhima groups. Another group, it is a Kaladgi group. The rocks of Kaladgi groups, which are named after the Kaladgi town of Bijapur district in Karnataka state. So that the Kaladgi developed in an ovoid shaped the Kaladgi basin, which is covering the area approximately, it's 8,000 square kilometers. And it is located in the west and the north of the basin. It's concealed by Deccan troughs. Yeah, the Kaladgi group is consists again unformed sediments, mostly it is on fossiliferous and deposit over the eroded edges of Archeans, and it is Archean niches and niches, which was designated by the name Purana. The name was given by the Holland in 1907. It's important. The name was given by Holland in 1907. The name it is as a Purana. Yeah, earlier this Kaladgi group, it's a classified into two groups. One, it is a lower, and second one, it is a upper groups. As per the basis of unconformity, the lower Kaladgi comprises conglomerate, sandstone, quartzite, siliceous limestones, clays, and shales. The siliceous limestones has lithological similarities when compared with the Vempelli limestone of a Kadapa supergroup. The upper Kaladgi has revised the position again when we see in a starting graphical position, and it's a given this supergroup of status. The lower group is named as a Bagalkot group, while the upper sequence it is designated as a Badani group. Yeah, now just you can see here the succession of this Delhi supergroup. Yeah, we come from the down onwards. It's a Dilwara group. Yeah, before going to that, just we see the Aravalli above the Aravalli unconformity. Then come towards Railo Dilwara group. After that, Alwar group. In a Alwara group, we see these formations. One, it is a Serete. Second one, it is a Govindapuranita. Third one, it is a Shahas, Jogipura Tekla, Baldarha, Bayana, Damda, Sarika Kushalgarh, and Bear. Yeah, lithological formations. In a Alvar group, the lithological formations we see here, that is the Peruzinous, quartzite limestone, and pillite conglomerate, schist feldspathic quartzite, and volcanic. It's consisting of volcanic formations along with some quartzite and schist formation. And at the same time, we see the siliceous dolomitic marbles also. And next one, it is a Achabag. In a Achabag, the formations are Rajgarh, Kankavari, Hanagazi, Bharkol, Arauli, and Manda. The lithological units are conglomerate and quartzite, schist and quartzite, carbon phyllite and schist, quartzite with carbon phyllite, quartz starolite, schist phyllite. Then Delhi South. In Delhi South, Ajitghar, Dhadikar, Bairat, Harsoras, Sadlapura, Udaipur, and Seul granites. These are all we see in the basement. And next one, it is Gongda, Bayorita, Sendra, Rajgarh, Bhim, Siroli. These are all the different formations we see. And along with that one, the little units or little formations, it contains mica schist conglomerate, metavolcanics, impure marbles also we see here. Then metavolcanics, impure marbles again, in a Rajgarh, pellitic schist with quartzite. In a Bhim, pellitic schist, calc gneiss, and marble you see here. The next, it is another equivalent of a Pakal group. The Pakal group occurs, it's particularly again, it is in a proterozoic Pakal basin, which is situated in the northern west part, southern west part of the peninsular state, which is extending through the state of Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. These three states are containing the Pakal group formation. And the rocks of Pakals, which are the bordering the Gondwanas in the southern, northwest and southeast direction along with the Pranahita Godavari Valley. It's divided into the two belts, the western and the eastern belt, western and eastern belts. In 1881, William King he worked and he carried out the geological work on the same sediment basins along with the Godavari Valley, and it's divided into them into lower Pakal Basin and upper Salavai series, and which are correlated with the between to them with the Karapa Basin. Actually, it is equivalent to that Vindhyans and Karapas. So recently, the sequence in this basin, it's broadly divided into the Pakal super group and Penganga group, and one more, it is the Salavai super group, Salavai group. The Pakal super group, it is divided again into the Mallampalli and Mulugu groups. These two groups, it belongs to the Pakal super group. And again, the Pakal super group, it is unconformally overlying the Penganga group and Salavai group, sandstone. There are two formations, again, you can just see here. In a Pakal super group. In a Pakal super group, it is divided into the two formation of the groups. One, it is the Penganga, and second one, it is the Salavai sandstone. The Albaka sandstone bed, it is exposed in between Mulugu and Penganga groups, between the two. The Pakal sediments mainly comprise conglomerate sandstone, and limestone, it's a ubiquitous occurrence. It's a glauconite And so overgrowth of feldspaths, it is indicating the sediments, the deposition under marine environment. Just we see here, there is a glauconite and the overgrowths of a feldspaths. It is indicating the sediment deposition under the marine environment. In a marine environments, under the marine environments or the marine conditions, the climatological conditions for marine, these it is suitable for to formation of a glauconite and feldspaths. Pakal was assigned with the middle prototype in the age of on the basis it's equivalent to the stromatolites. What's the importance of a economic importance of a Karpa basin? It's a copper, asbestos, barite, and steatite, building stones. These are the major economic minerals which we will get from the Karpa basin. The copper, it's a K3 copper belt, it's extend for about 80 kilometers from Singhana district in Rajasthan. And the copper ore occurs, it's a form, chalcopyrite, pyrite, pyrrhotite, arsenopyrite, and the other sulfide mineral associated with the slates, slate, pillite, and basica. Copper and lead deposit occur in the quartzite and dolomite, where it is interbed with shales around the granite. And the dome we can see nearby the Agnigundala area, where it is located in Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh. Asbestos, barite, and steatite. The chrysotile asbestos, yeah, it's a cross fiber variety and which is formed due to this pentonization along with the junction zones of trap cells on the host Vemperley dolomitic limestone. The Kadapa traps, which are also responsible for the formation of barites and steatites and Vemperley limestones. The most important one, it is a barite in sedimentary sequence at Mangampeta of a Kadapa district. It belongs to the volcanic sedimentary type, and the ore reserves which are having the 72 million tons. This is what's largest single bedded type of a deposit, where single bedded deposit was recognized in Kadapa basin. The next one, it is a building stone. The Pulivendala and Narji quartzites, conglomerates, slates in Andhra Pradesh, and some limestones, quartzite conglomerates in Rajasthan, and which are extensively used for the building purpose. The next one is a Kumbham shales and slates. It is useful for to making of a rectangular blocks and slabs, and which are useful for hard durable building stones in different areas. Yeah, another one, it is Indians. The most of the upper Indians developed over the greater part of Indian, which are exposures, while the lower Indians are only developed in the Son Valley. Yes. Between in the Son Valley only we can able to identify these lower Indians, and particularly the upper Indians were located along the Son Valley. The Indian rocks are usually located above the Karpa basin, and the Karpa basins which are called as old formations, and there is unconformity between the two formations. The Indian supergroup is consisting of two distinct phases of deposits. One, it is a marine calcareous, and second one, it is a argillaceous deposits, which were developed in the lower part of the Indian group. At the same time, it has a ripple marks, mud cracks, current beddings in the Indian sandstones, which are point out a shallow estated water of the coast, and which are nearby the mouths of rivers. The Vinyan supergroup is divided into the four groups. One, it is a semi, second one is a Kaimur, third one it is a Reva, and fourth one it is a Bandar. Yeah, here we see uh, the lower group, the complete lower formation, it contains a Semri group. The formations of a Semri group, you see here, it's a basal sandstone conglomerates, Khajrahat limestone, pond limestone, and a silicified shale. One more, it is a Kionjora sandstone and shale. And final one, it is a Rohtas formation. Yeah, these are all the formation, and the thickness of these 760 to 3055 meters of thickness has. And again, we can see here there is an unconformity between the Kaimur group and Semri group. In a Kaimur group, the formations are like Sasaram sandstone, Susaibrexia and shale, Garhar sandstone, Bijaygarh shale, Manxit formation, and Dhanjurial sandstone. The thickness it is 8 to 400 meters. Yeah, here there is an important formation that is called as a diamond bearing conglomerates. And it's located nearby the Reva or between the Kaimur and the Reva. So here the Reva group, it is divided as a Purana shale, lower Reva sandstone, Jiri shales, and upper Reva sandstone. Upper Reva sandstone. Here the thickness it is a 360 to 3000 meters. The final group it is a Bandar. In a Bandar group, the following formations are there. One, it is a Ganurga shale. Second one is Bandar limestone. Third one, lower Bandar sandstone. Fourth one, it is a Sirbu shale. Fifth one is a Bandar sandstone. The thickness of the same formation, it is around 480 to 630 meters. What are the equivalents of a Vindian formation or a Vindian supergroup? The Vindians probably which are extend in the northern part under the Indo-Gangetic alluvium, and it's a form to basement of the Himalayan porphyry. It is not an established whether they have equivalent in some unfossiliferous rocks of a sub-Himalayan region in Uttar Pradesh and Nepal, and which are now we can found in the broke up of thrust and southwards and over the Thermocarboniferous, and it's consisting of tertiary rocks. Rocks resembling the Vindhyans and which are occurred as a scattered outcrops in the western Rajasthan. Typical Vindhyans are equivalents and well exposed in the Karpa basin, the resting unconformably over Karpa supergroup of rocks, which is known as a Karpa, which is known as a Karnulu group. The same rock formations you see in Chhattisgarh and the Balstar. These basins are now correlated with the Karnals because of the lithological formations are having the similar characteristics. We are now coming to the Karnal group. The Karnal group mainly consists of a quartzite, sandstone, shale, and limestones, and which is Unconformably overlies the Kadapa supergroup, and the rocks which are divided into the subbasins like Karnool and Palnad. Just to see here, it's a Karnool and Palnad. The Karnool subbasin, which is exposed along the Kunde Valley in the western central part of Kadapa Basin, while it's a Palnad subbasin. And again, the Kunde Valley exposed in the northeastern part of Kadapa Basin. The limestones of Karnool and Palnad subbasins, it's the most important sources for a cement industry. The lithostratigraphy of Karnool. First, we see here Nandyal formations. Second one, it is a lithology. Third one, it is showing as a thickness of different formations. Above the supergroup of Kadapa, and there is an unconformity between the Banganapalle quartzite and Kadapa supergroup. The Banganapalle quartzite has a lithological formation. It is a conglomerate and quartzite. The thickness around 10 to 50 meters. Nudgy limestones. The nudgy limestones, we see the lithology. It's consisting of a limestone formation. The thickness of this one, 100 to 200 meters. Next one, it is a oak shale. The oak shale, it is a ochreous material. It's a ochreous material, and the thickness of this one around 10 to 15 meters. And another one, it is a Panium quartzite. The Panium quartzite, it has a quartzite. The thickness may be 10 to 35 meters. Next one is Coel-Kuntla formation. The Coel-Kuntla formation lithology contain limestone. Thickness is around 15 to 50 meters. Nandyala shale, next one. The lithological formation, it is a shale here. It is a shale. Thickness is 50 to 100 meters. Yeah, this is about Karnool group. Next, coming to the Bhima. The Bhima formations are a Bhima group of rocks are exposed on the either side of a Bhima river in the districts of Gulbarga and Bijapur of Karnataka state. A small part of a Rangareddy districts, it's contained the same Bhima group. Approximately, it's occupied in Rangareddy district, so that is 5,200 square kilometers of area, the smallest of all the protozoic basins in India. It was earlier, it was classified by the Bruce Foote, and he was divided into the two series. One, it is a lower, second one, it is a upper series. And again, as after the region of this same classification, the bulk of a Shafa formation and another one, it is a Katam Devarahalli formation. Earlier, the classification has been grouped under the Shabad and Bhima group, and both were located in Archean gneiss complex in the basis of a group of Bhima supergroup, Bhima group, and the northern part of a basin is concealed by the Deccan Trough and which flows in intratropical beds. Yeah, very recently the scientist studies were carried out on this same formation, and they have identified that is a gold specks discovered in basal conglomerates along with the sandstone formation, which indicates that the possibility of a placer gold in a coarse grained sand formation. And the main lithological features like horizontal deposition, and it has an unmetamorphosed nature of the Bima group, which is made equivalent to the Carnolu group. Yeah, this is the classification of a Bima group. Above the Orchionices, we see here again one unconfirmatory formation between the Ramnalli formation. And the lithological characters are it's containing maximum conglomerate, quartz, shale formations. And above the Rabanpalli formation, we see the unconformity. Yes, two more equivalents are one it is the Indravati group, second one it is the Chhattisgarh group. This group are mainly exposed in Indravati River in the west, what across the Bastar Basin in Chhattisgarh state. The Indravati group consists of basal conglomerate quartzite and followed by the shales, dolomite limestones with a thickness of around 400 meters found in Indravati group. Chhattisgarh group, Chhattisgarh basin over covering an area about 30,000 30,000 square kilometers, and which extends over a large portion of Durg, Raipur, and Bilaspur districts of Madhya Pradesh and parts of Sambalpur districts of Orissa. This group consists of 1,600 meters thickness of sandstone, shales, and limestone. The Chhattisgarh group resting the unconformably over the lower Precambrian group. And this group has been divided into the two formations, and namely lower Chandrapur sandstone and upper Raipur formation. There is a disconformity between the two formations. The carbonate rocks contain the well preserved stromatolites. Yeah, the economic importance of Vinians. Vinians are potentially the source for particularly diamond, pyrite, clays, ochres, cement, grade limestones, and building stones also. The upper Vinians are remarkable for their diamond-bearing harchens in the strait lying between the Kaimur and the Reva groups. The diamond-bearing strata is also found in Banganapalli formation of Kurnool. Yeah. Pyrite and coal are reported from the Vijaygarh shales near the Amchor in Uttar Pradesh. Limestones, the Vindhyan, are the most important source of raw material for lime and cement industries in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, the bulk of limestone resources are associated with the Kadapa, Karnool, Pakal, Sulavai, and Bhima groups of rock formations. At the same time, the Vindhyan limestones, which are different colors, which were used in inlaid decorations of buildings in Agra. The Bhanda sandstones is extensively used building stones in the northern India. The Auk shales in Karnool districts, which yield good white clays and yellow ochres. Some Indian sandstone yield good glassy sands and disintegration by the weathering process. Yeah, we see into the Gondwana classifications and Gondwana formations. The Gondwana group of rocks are well developed in triangular area of bounded by Damodar, Narmada, Son Valley in the north, Godavari Valley along the northwest southeast, and the northern part of the east coast peninsula of India. Yeah, in this triangular area, which are northwest southeast trending, Son, Mahanadi, and Pranahita Godavari basin. The east-west oriented Kyol, Damodar, and Satpura basins, and north-south oriented by Rajmahal basin. The lower Gondwana rocks, which are occur extensively in all the basins where the upper Gondwana rocks are developed and which are preserved only in the part of Narmada, Mahanadi, and Godavari basins. So that the basin strata of upper Gondwana, which occurs in all the major basins, where it is exposed or where it is formed, the upper strata have its restricted distribution. The Gondwana encompasses the parts of Bihar, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Orissa, Telangana, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu states. Apart from these Gondwana rocks, which are found in the foothills of Himalayas, Assam, Kashmir, Saurashtra, and Kutch formations. The Gondwana rocks of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, mainly it occurs in the part of Adilabad, Karimnagar, Warangal, Khammam, East and West Godavari districts. Yeah, and some patches are present in Srikakulam, Tuni, Rajamandri, Eluru, Guntur, and Chittur segments along the east coast. Whereas the classification of a Gondwana, we see that. The classification of a Gondwana supergroup, it is a very controversial reading, whether the threefold of a twofold of division. The earlier classification, it was proposed by the Fistmantle in 1880, which were divided sequence into the three divisions of lower, middle, upper. And it's equivalent to the Permian, Triassic and Jurassic systems also. The threefold division, it was based on the presence and continental deposits which were fossils. However, on the basis of characteristics of a flora and twofold classification, which was proposed by the GDP Carter in 1970. It was adopted by the Geological Survey of India. In this classification, the dividing of a line between the lower and upper units, which was taken based on a Panchat group, and lower one with it is a Glossopteris flora, and upper with the Thelophyllum flora. Yeah, the Panchat group was separated from the Mahadeva group, and which was a disconformity and stratigraphic gap that was formed between the Panchat group and as well as a Mahadeva group. The lower Gondwana has been divided again into the Talcher, Damodar, and Panchat groups. The upper Gondwana was divided into the Mahadeva, Rajmahal, Jabalpur groups. Yeah, now let us see the classification of these Gondwana in the formation of a table. Yeah, this is the table classification of Gondwanas. Geological time we see here period, division, group, formation, east coast formation. Then we come from bottom onwards. Carboniferous. In Carboniferous, that is a period, and the division, upper division group, it belongs to the Tarcher group. Formations, it has a three formations: border bed formation, Talcher bed formation, Ripcord formation. Next, coming to the Permian period. In a Permian period, the Gondwana is divided into the three categories. One, it is a lower category. Second one, it is a middle. Third one, it is a upper. So these three groups or three divisions are having only one group, that is Damodar. Damodar formations. Again, we see into the division of the formations here. Basic one, it is a Karbari. Second one, it is a Baraka. Third one, it is a Baran Marzaid. Fourth one, it is a Ranikanj. Yeah, next, Triassic period. In a Triassic period, here we see that is divided into as a four divisions. One, it is a Banta. Second one, it's a Mulstock. Third one, it's a Kopiar. Fourth one, it's a Rahatek. Yeah. The Buncher formation or a group, it is divided into the as a yeah. The next one, it is a Triassic period. In a Triassic period, it is divided into the four divisions. And from the four divisions, from the Bunter division, it has a Panchat group. The formation, it's the same name on the Panchat group. And the east coast formation of this one, Chintalpudi sandstone. The Rahatek formation, see, it has a Mahadeva group. The Mahadeva group, the formation we see here, Maleri and Panchat. East Coast formation, it is Gollapalli and Budavada formation. And there is a disconformity between the two here. One, that is between the Panchat and Mahadeva. And final one, it is final periods are two, Jurassic and Cretaceous. The Jurassic, it belongs to the upper division of Jabalpur, and the Jabalpur formation it has, and Cretaceous, it belongs to the lower. It's a lower, and the same Jabalpur group, it's consisting of a Umya and Jabalpur formation, and it belongs to the Tirupati and Pavalur Satyavedu formation. Yeah. The Dalcheru beds, which are found in the most lower Gondwana areas of peninsula in defaulted troughs or grabens. The lowermost member, it's a tiltil or a bound, it's consisting of a boulder beds, which succeeded by the shales and sandstones. The boulder bed consisting of unsorted matrix or unsorted mixture of boulders, pebbles, rock fragments, and again its formation along with that clay. Marine intercalations. Umeria marine bed in Madhya Pradesh. It is a characteristics of a highly fossiliferous marine shelly limestone bed and contain the fossil of products, Perifernia and Reticularia and others, which occurs in between the Talcher and Barakar formations. The marine bed within the lower Gondwana sediments, which indicates that the face of Tethys Sea and has a transgressed over the peninsula. The Damodar group comprising the Karhadbari, Barakar, Baran Mezet, and Ranishgan formation. Karhadbari consisting pebbly grids and sandstones and has the fossils of the Gangamopteryx of Borecia, Chasorinia, Actocaria, Glossopteryx indica, Gangamopteryx, Cyclopteryx, and the negotiation Chapelici. These formations we see in Karhadbari group. Yeah, coming to the Barakar, the most of the Barakar, it's a white to fawn colored sandstone and grids with occasional conglomerate and beds shale associated with the coal seams. Yeah. The conglomerates of beds shale associated with the coal seams. The sandstones contain more or less decomposed feldspars. The flora includes the Glossopteris, Vertebraria, and Sejonaria. Barren measures are entirely devoid of coal seams and consist of mostly sandstones characterized by clay, ironstone, nodules having the 35 to 40% of iron. Raniganj formations consist of a fine sandstone, shales, and coal seams. The typical fossils are Sejonaria and Pilotheca indica, Glossopteris indica, and Gangam Opterisa Vachiana. And some fossil woods also we have to find uh, in the upper part of a formation. And coming to the Panchat group, The Panchat group consisting of the Panchat formation named on the Panchat hills in the Raniganj goldfield. The formation comprises mainly the succession of the coarse-grained feldspathic sandstones and very thin beds of green shales and clay beds. The Panchat formation again it's consisting of red bed faces, fluviate origin. The flora which is includes the Glossopteris, Cyclopteris, and Panchaeasis. And this Panchat formation, it's often overlain by the Mahadeva group. The Mahadeva group consisting of a red and buff colored sandstone with some red clays it's nearby base and also on a top. Fishes, amphibians, and reptiles which are found in the clay blades. And again, we see the Rajmahal group. The Rajmahal group mainly it's consisting of a basaltic lava flows, and Jabalpur group is divided into the lower Jabal group and upper Umia formations, which they consisting the white and the light colored the clays, massive soft sandstones, and Terophyllum, Articulum, and Visiblonia vindica, which are important fossils were found in Jabalpur grove. Okay, this is about Gondwana formation. And next, tomorrow we see the Deccan Troughs and paleontology.